What happens if you want to dip your toe into yacht ownership? Buy something of a contained size so that you can run it for yourself if you want to, but your tastes and your expectations are not quite so contained. Dunamis H2O is what happens. A 50-foot motor yacht with mega yacht standards. Now, the owner of this Azimut 50 stopped at nothing to ensure that she is simply the best on the market. Let's start with some of the basic specifications though. As mentioned, the yacht is 50 feet long. For those of you who prefer Euro measurements to go with your Euro yacht, that's 15.4 meters. Her beam is 15 feet and 4 inches. And she draws 4 feet 11 inches. Now that's not only 1 inch more than Danny DeVito is high, it also is exactly 1 meter 50. We'll be looking at the engine room and some of the technical features in a moment, but first let's take a walkthrough of the yacht. And we'll start on the Flybridge up here, and a recurring theme throughout this presentation will be how much Azimut have packed into a 50-foot yacht. Working from the aft, we have this lovely little seating area here. It's a great social area. I've actually just had my sandwiches here with Wick Kirtland, who's the broker, and also with the owner of the yacht who's been running it for the day for us. And it's just a lovely, comfortable area to sit and have a snack. If you want something a little bit more substantial, under here we have a barbecue grill, a sink, we have a fridge just underneath here and storage here so that you've got fresh drinks, cool drinks that you can easily get hold of. If you want to barbecue a steak or a mahi-mahi that you've just caught in the afternoon, you can then bring it through here where we have a larger dining table. At the moment we've got the shade completely up, completely closed on this hard top, but you can just grab hold of the handle and open it all up if you prefer to have the sunshine beating down on you. You can do that while you're eating around the table. They've extended this seating area here so that it can be a sun pad as well. But well worth mentioning, of course, is that this is where you'll drive the yacht from. And I think the appeal actually of a 50-foot yacht is that it does kind of make you want to drive it yourself. A lot of people who buy these yachts will have a captain just while they're learning, but then as soon as they can, it's actually a really nice size. From up here I can see the bow, I can see everything that I need to see. And we'll be talking about the engines later, but it's worth noting that Volvo Penta, who have the engines, have this real cool joystick control as well, which just makes it easier. So you've got your throttle controls here, the joystick control, all of your main equipment's here, your plotter, your radar. It's just a lovely area. Actually, I stood up a moment ago to show you how good the visibility is. I didn't need to stand up at all, even from sitting here. I can just see easily around. Let's take a look now at the main deck. So as you can see, clearly this area is pretty traditional because you have the aft deck dining table here, some seats around it. Lovely spot to be able to sit and have dinner, by the way. But some things which are less visible, for example, under here, we have a cool drawer, a small refrigerator, so that you can easily get your drinks without having to call somebody every time. You have an ice maker in here, but then look at this under here. You lift this, open it up, and that's actually a crew quarters down there, which although quite small is really quite well appointed. It has everything there that crew could need, and I feel the need to make a comment on that because sometimes people will watch these videos and comment on how small crew quarters can really be, but the truth is that the way that this yacht is operated and many other yachts of this size are operated is that crew will usually live in their own place on land. They'll come down in the morning, wash the boat down, do their job, go out to sea, and they're often back in the evenings. There will be occasions when they do sleep in there, but generally speaking it's not like they're there every single night. And quite frankly, for young people who've got that desire to work and to do something interesting, it's a very small sacrifice to sleep down there to be able to enjoy this kind of scenery in the Bahamas and a career that's actually really quite exciting. Before we move up to the bow, let me mention this area here too, because as you can see there's a large platform with a Williams tender on it. Now that's a hydraulic platform, so the platform lowers into the sea to launch the tender, but it's also a great way for you and your guests to access the ocean if you want to go swimming I would have to say actually that back in the day, before those hydraulic platforms were ever invented, yachts used to have a little crane here, and it was really quite awkward to launch the dinghy with a crane. This system's just so much more user-friendly, and it has so many more functions as well, since you can use it for a swim platform too. Let's move up to the bow and see what's up there. And this is nicely designed. They've put a little corridor through the sunbathing area so that you've got seating here and sunbathing there. I don't know how many of my viewers spend a lot of time in Miami. I think probably quite a few do. And you'll be familiar with the sights of these yachts, often Azimuts, going out with lots of people, sitting, sunbathing, having a drink, listening to the music, having a great time, really enjoying yachting as yachting should be enjoyed. This particular yacht is owned by a family. It's been used by the family, not a big party yacht. It's actually got quite low engine hours, which is something that we'll talk about in a moment. So it's been used in a more reserved manner. And I have to say, as a look around, it really shows everything's absolutely immaculate on board. Let's take a look inside. Well, inside you really are reminded that this is an Azimut. It may be one of the smaller Azimuts in the range, but they really don't hold back on their decor. It's absolutely sumptuous in here. This is a good moment to mention actually that the materials were an upgrade, as was the AV equipment on the yacht. The owner made multiple upgrades, and he was also telling me that he got an interior designer to come in as well, just for these little touches of colour, which just makes such a difference. It makes it so much more homely when you're inside. As you can see here, we have the seating area with a table, another seating area here. Back here, we have some glass holders. And I have to say, when we were coming out to film, we were doing a fair old speed, they didn't even rattle, let alone moving. That was very impressive. Up here, we moved to the galley area with the induction Miele hob, as well as a decent sized oven there and a good sized work surface. But I was particularly impressed with the helm station. It's just such a lovely, neat and clean layout here. You have everything that you could possibly need. You've got your radar, your GPS, you have this multi-purpose screen here where you can just touch on one of the various buttons and get everything that you want. In this case, it's your fuel levels, your tank levels as well. And very important to notice is that you also have zero-speed stabilizers, in this case built by Seakeeper, and that's a very easy system to use. And actually, I have to say that it's really noticeable today. We're very, very stable out at sea. Max is nodding his head because for the cameraman, it's really difficult when we've got a yacht that's rolling like this. It's very, very difficult to edit afterwards, but I don't think we'll have any problems with the editing of this particular video. Moving down below deck, and Azimut have been really smart here in their use of space, because we have a fridge, a washer dryer, and some storage all in this area, which will be very useful indeed. Storage is always at a premium on any yacht. Moving through here, we have the VIP stateroom. We're right up in the bow here, but again, Azimut have done a great job of making this into really a decent sized cabin. Own television screen, its own bathroom. Now, the door to the bathroom for this cabin is here, and there's another door here. The reason for that is this is really a multi-purpose bathroom. It can be used as a day head for guests who just come down, open the door, and can use the head. It can be used for this cabin, or there's also a second cabin just through here with two single bunks. It made me smile that each bunk has its own television set. That's really kind of cool. I know that at the moment this is used for the children's cabin. At least it means that they're not in a situation where one can see the television and the other can't, which certainly in my house would have been a big source of arguments. Meanwhile, the owner will sleep through here. You really have to remind yourself you're on a 50-foot yacht, and I'm not talking so much about the space of the cabins, although that's impressive. I'm talking more about the height. You'll have noticed that I just came down quite a few steps, and by bringing this cabin down to this level, we're really close to the bilges here, close to the hull. It means that there's really quite good head height for anybody, apart from the fact it's clearly a very beautifully appointed room too. So there you have it. You have a really cool 3-stateroom, 50-foot yacht, which is just great to get out on the water with your friends and your family. I do know though that most people watching these videos want to see the engine room. Everybody wants to know about the engines, of course, so I'm going to tell you about those. This as well was an upgrade from the owner. He wanted the biggest engines, which are Volvo 725 horsepower. Access to those is here. Now, when you think about Volvo, some people think about the Volvo IPS. In this case, these are not Volvo IPS. It's a standard Volvo engine inline shaft, and that will bring the boat to a top speed of about 32 knots. Although I should mention to you that the owner was saying that, you know, honestly, people don't really run around at top speed the whole time. He said 23 knots, the yacht is comfortable, you can cruise, you can go everywhere, people aren't spilling their drinks or getting worried about anything. 23 knots is about the right speed for this particular model of yacht. Actually, it's been really good to have the owner on board the yacht as we were filming. He gave me so much insight into the way that he's been using the vessel and his experience of yacht ownership. I've often said in videos that the best time to buy a production yacht like this is when it's 2 to 3 years old. And the reason for that is that usually on production yachts, the first 2 years are all about getting warranty items sorted out, all about getting the little niggles sorted out so that the yacht's perfect. Some people watching this video may be surprised by that. Yacht owners who hear it won't be surprised, because they know that that's the way that it is with production yachts. It's a pretty complex piece of equipment. There are always things going wrong, things that need to be repaired. So if you buy it once all of those niggles have been sorted out, you're really getting the yacht at the peak moment when it's its very best. But the great thing with Dunamis H2O is that the owner had the good foresight to also pay for an extended 3-year warranty. So not only do you get the yacht at the best time that you possibly can, when it's in its best possible condition, but it also has more warranty to run on it. How good is that? If this is interesting to you, if you want to get out on the water in your first time yacht or not your first time yacht, if you want to spend time with your family and your friends on a really cool vessel that you can run for yourself, or that you can have a captain if you prefer, do take a look at this yacht. And to do that, get in touch with my dear friend and colleague Whit Kirtland. His contact details are on screen now.